Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. Share with somebody, get those likes up, Join us on Facebook /Elephant Man Podcast or on IG Elephant Man _podcast, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. What's going on, family? It's been a minute. I've been really working and doing a lot of different things with the youth, the Junior Master Gardener, and also I am, officially a part of the Master Gardener Club because I took that class, every Thursday from March to this past weekend, and it was an interesting class, and I learned a lot. And so, shout out to everybody who's learning the Master Gardener program to teach our young people as well as our old people how to grow fresh fruits and vegetables, y'all, with all of these different things going on. Man, good to see everybody. Shalom, shalom to everybody. I want to get right into a few things that's going on. Just talk about a few things. One of them is this recent shooting, man. I want to show some videos about that. My condolences. My heart goes out to those families who was watching the parade, and the tragedy struck again, man. It's very, very sad. So let's check that video out real quick, and then we're going to chat about it.
We are standing in front of is less than a mile away from the parade route. So shortly after the shooting, dozens were rushed here, 26 in total. Doctors say that 25 sustained gunshot wounds, and the patients, their ages range from 8 to 85.
When gunshots pierced Highland Park's 4th of July parade route, confusion and panic quickly set in. Many attendees forced to spring into action amid a flurry of gunfire.
There were a number of heroic actions by members of the community, by police, by first responders that rushed in and immediately tended to the victims, tried to get them help.
Witnesses say they even saw young children rush other kids out of harm's way.
He said, "My name is Blake." And the other little boy said, "Blake, run, run." And he grabbed Blake's hand, and he joined up with his family, and this family took Blake to safety.
Among those caught in the barrage of bullets was a Highland Park High School marching band.
I couldn't believe that there were so many shots in a row, and then it stopped for a short while, and then it continued again.
The teens seen running from the sound of gunfire. The school says every member made it out safely, including Gavin Solinger's son.
A shout out to the band who did a brilliant job of kind of keeping the kids all together and safe. Thank God everybody was fine.
Still, as a suspected lone gunman attacked while positioned from a rooftop, those on the ground described the scene as a war zone. In the aftermath, folding chairs, strollers, even toys left abandoned by panicked parade goers trying to flee from the violence. More than 30 people were injured and rushed to local hospitals. 6 people lost their lives, including 76-year-old Nicholas Toledo, a father of 8 and grandfather to many. His family telling the New York Times he was fatally shot while sitting along the parade route in his wheelchair. His family saying he originally didn't want to attend the parade. Jackie Sondheim, a lifelong member of the North Shore Congregation Israel, was also killed. Her synagogue writing, Jackie's work, kindness and warmth touched us all. There are no words sufficient to express the depth of our grief for her death.
And as we continue to get more information about the survivors and victims, doctors here at Highland Park Hospital say that 19 people were treated and released yesterday. And we should also note that this hospital was placed on lockdown yesterday amid the chaos because of the proximity to the shooting scene and also because of the hours-long search for the gunman. Craig?
Kathy Park on the ground force there.
Man, oh man. So that's just crazy. I mean, I can only imagine, man. I can only fathom, man. I can't, man, just to be sitting there and next thing you know, you just just fire shots ringing out, shooting out, man. It's just amazing, man. And then it happens so fast, you know what I mean? You're like, man, what's going on? You know, you look up, you could be hit, your loved one could be hit, family could be hit, friends, and it's just amazing. So Yahushua said, perfect love casts out all fear. We want you to read that Psalms 91, and not just because of the imminent danger, but I'm just saying, just continue to meditate on that Psalm 91. And I'm gonna show this other video that talks about who the guy was. Let's get into that video real quick.
Suspected gunman fired 70 rounds into that crowd gathered to watch the parade. Police say 21-year-old Robert Crimo dressed as a woman before the shooting to conceal his identity. We've learned his weapon was legally purchased here in Illinois. Crimo arrested hours after the attack after police got a tip from a resident who spotted his car in North Chicago. Police taking it from there. He first tried to get away, but was eventually taken into custody in Lake Forest. We have team coverage this noon, starting with Sally Schulze. She is live at the Highland Park Police Station.
And this is where we just learned several new key developments in this case. Police telling us the suspect had planned this attack for weeks. They say he dressed in a disguise as a woman. He used a fire escape to illegally get up on top of a business on top of the roof, and he had bought several of these guns legally. They say the weapon used in this massacre was a high-powered rifle similar to an AR-15. Police telling us that he used that gun to fire more than 70 rounds into the crowd that was watching that 4th of July parade here in Highland Park. 6 people were killed, more than 30 injured by that gunfire. As for why, police say there's no motive at this point, no evidence it was done because of race or religion. When police say when they finally caught up with him almost 8 hours later, they say they found another rifle in his car, in his mom's car that he was using. Plus, he had purchased other weapons in the Chicago area recently. And certainly one of the more bizarre details, what he was wearing. I want you to listen to police describe the disguise he used to avoid detection.
During the attack, Crimo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during the escape with the other people who were fleeing the chaos. During the attack.
So police are saying that they believe that the suspect, who they now say is 21 years old, not 22, as they believed yesterday, the 21-year-old acted alone. They say they were able to trace him, find him finally after those 8 hours because of the gun, again, purchased legally in his name. They say the ATF helped a lot in that, and also a lot of videos that were brought in, tips from the public, people were at that parade giving those tips to investigators. They're still asking for more help. They need more videos of this incident as they try to piece together a lot more pieces of this massacre and how it all came to play. And they are also saying that the public, while instrumental, they're again asking them to, if they've got videos, maybe of someone dressed as a woman, to send that in to investigators. We're going to be staying here at the Highland Police Department as these new developments continue to come out. We are live.
Wow. It's just weird. It's bizarre. It's a mystery. People are not clothed and in their right mind, literally. You know, we got to be clothed and in our right mind. What's the motive? They say they weren't racial. They say they weren't religious, you know. And those who are from the Chicagoland area know that Highland Park is an affluent area, a place that you would think that something like this, quote unquote, wouldn't happen, right? But it could pretty much happen anywhere to anybody, right? At any time. You know, no one is exempt. You know, they always the south side of Chicago this and the west side of Chicago that. That's where a lot of the African Americans, so-called African Americans live. But it can happen anywhere at any time, you know. And that's just very crazy that would happen. So my prayers go out to those families, man. And we got to walk circumspectly, put our head on the swivel. You know, I always tell my son, don't just put your headphones on and your head down and just go into a world. No, be looking, not out of fear, but know your surroundings. You know your surroundings. And also practice the presence of the Most High. Listen to that still small voice so we can, the still small, the Ruach will tell us. He will lead us and guide us into all truth. So we got to definitely listen to the Ruach when it comes to that. All right. Next up is y'all not new to this story right here. The story about the young lady and the young man, the young lady going off on a baby daddy as far as the McDonald's thing. We seen memes about it, right? I seen memes before I even heard the story. It's kind of semi-old news, but I'm gonna play this video real quick and share my thoughts on it, man. It's interesting.
Look, y'all. Every fucking day, my baby daddy come here with one fucking meal for my child, but I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you
them my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings
Lisa,
though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. Why do I gotta
bring him out to the car?
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I got my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? So you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine.
Yeah, they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me?
Because I'm exposing. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all. Then he can't take that. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I could maybe. You got it's 3 extra kids. What the? You all like going to my mother account? Spending money on all those kids. Them not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings, though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with. That's the one you gonna.
Those are your fucking kids' siblings.
They're my. So that means
yeah. So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Your babies.
Okay, but I'm saying. We share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel the way about him eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
Send him down to the car. He ain't got to eat for his brothers and sisters. He come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here.
You sound stupid.
Dumb. He ain't eating this. You.
Why don't you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all.
All right. That video went viral. Somebody told me that video, I heard that could be a spoof or it could be like a, not a real video. Nevertheless, Israel, come on. We on here looking real bad all the time. We got to be the butt of all jokes. It's time for us to rise up and lead for sure. Oh, that situation. Nah, if it's a spoof, it's an interesting joke, right? But if it's real, somebody else said, no, that was real. She was really upset that this brother didn't bring food for all 4 kids. Now, from what I seen, it looked like he was trying, you know. And I'm not taking a side because some people take her side. That's right. She needed this, that, and the other. And how dare him not bring all of the food and not taking this side. But it looked like he was trying to provide for his kid. Now, they were saying McDonald's and fast food like every other day or a couple of days a week, that job can get pretty expensive. So the first solution offered was, hey, well, let him come out here and eat, you know, so he don't be eating in front of his siblings. You know, I guess that was an interesting solution, whatever, you know. So what do you think? Do you think he's responsible to bring food for all or not? I think this one should have happened. I think that they should have communicated, and instead of getting McDonald's every other day, you could be like, look, I'm gonna hook you up. You know, that's like $40, 30 or $40 worth of McDonald's, and just go ahead and grab some, you know, some rice, some beans, box of cereal, some milk, and be like, look, I'm gonna drop some food off for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not his responsibility, but I think that might have been the wisest thing to do if she didn't want him to come to the car, the son that's his, to come to the car and eat. Very, very crazy, man. I really hope it's a spoof. I'm gonna check again. Let me know what you think about that story. We split down the middle on everything. Again, it could be an old-fashioned distraction. We split down the middle on everything, man. Chris Rock and Will Smith and this video, that video, and the whole time they opening up portals and doing crazy stuff, signing bills and laws, you know, that's going to alter your life forever. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to go to this next story. The next story is Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar, a prominent known preacher from down south. I guess he's one of the prosperity preachers, very, very known. I've actually seen him before when he came to Chicago. He filled the whole, I don't know, we weren't in the arena, we were somewhere, but it was a lot of people there back in the day. And very charismatic. And but this is what he had to say. He had something to say about, he apologized and he made corrections about teaching about tithe, right? Now, I had some people say it's a trick and he's slick and he's a pimp and he's this, that, and the other. I don't know. We're going to play this video real quick, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. Here we go.
I'm still growing. And that the teachings that I've shared in times past on the subject of tithing were not correct. And today I stand in humility to correct some things that I've taught for years and believed for years, but could never understand it clearly because I had not yet been confronted with the gospel of grace, which has made the difference. I won't apologize because if it wasn't for me going down that route, I would have never ended up where I am right now. But I will say that I have no shame at all at saying to you, throw away every book, every tape, and every video I ever did on the subject of tithing, unless it lines up with this. I've done some corrective teaching in the last 10 years, but not to the degree of what we're getting ready to do now. So why is this important? Because religion is sustained by two factors: fear and guilt. And if it's one subject that the church has used for a long time to keep people in fear and guilt, it is in that subject of tithing. And it has to be corrected, and it's got to be corrected now. I may lose some friends, preachers may not ever invite me no more, but I think I've already been through that, so it doesn't matter. The Lord woke me up at 5:30 this morning and he said this to me, and he said, get up and write it down before you lose it. He said that your giving is a response to my ability to take care of you. He said, when you give, it is your declaration of dependence on me. All right, now watch this. The New Testament talks about the importance and the benefits of giving. That's what it talks about. We are to give as we are able. And sometimes that means giving more than 10%. Sometimes that means giving less. It all depends on the ability of the Christian and the needs of the body of Christ. So every Christian should diligently pray and seek God's wisdom in the matters of participating on how much you should give. Now, above all, giving should be given with pure motives. It should be given with an attitude of worship to God, and it should be given as a service to the body of Christ. So according to 2 Corinthians 9:7, 2 Corinthians 9:7, look what he says here. He says, you must each decide in your own heart how much to give. New Testament, you must decide in your own heart how much to give. And don't give reluctantly, or don't give in response to pressure. Well, the tithing teaching always pressured me. It gave me fear. Malachi 3:10 says, what's that? You are cursed with a curse. I remember one time my tithe was like, I don't know what it was, $100 and some and 26 cents. And I didn't have the 26 cents. And somebody put a brick through my window, my car window of a new car I had. And Taff and I just got married, and as soon as I did that, the condemnation of tithing and not tithing came up, and I'm like, you know, the devil just spoke to me and said, see there, if you tithe, then this wouldn't have happened. The only reason that happened is it was fear-based. He says you're never to give in response to pressure.
Wow. So that is a lot. That is a lot. Now I've heard some people, some people were saying, you know what? He just saying that because he want to get more money. He's still a snake. He's still a crook. He's still a pimp. What else I say on my timeline? My timeline be on a whole nother level. He is just you know. Can he give it back? Now that's one thing that's very interesting. All right, you repenting about this tithe, you're gonna give it back. He's been getting tithes for 30 years. Like, who he gonna give it back to? Where does it go? Make check payable to who? Right? How do you give that money back? You know what I mean? I don't know if it was slick to try to be like, well, check out your heart, how much you want to give. And so that's going to make people give more than 10% now. And now his bag is going to be bigger. I don't know if he was saying that. Could be. Only time would tell. I don't know if he was saying that. But one thing I can say is hats off to him for real, because a lot of ministers and ministries, they'll be wrong with some stuff, and they won't change it. You know, I think about even when I watch some of Farrakhan's messages and some of the stuff he be going, he'll have a Quran up there and the Bible up there. He be going back and forth, and you know, he be leaning strong on that word on the Bible. And I'd be like, man, this man knows something. It's like he want to say something, but it's like he can't because he got this following. He got he got all these people following him, and he don't want to mess up his quote unquote good thing he's been getting for years. And so to me, for Kraft to come out and say that, I was like, man, that takes a lot. You know what I mean? Instead of learning it and then being like, all right, we gonna give a different way. You know, so that's interesting. What do you think about that? Is he a snake? Is he a pimp? Is he trying to be slick to get more than 10%? And shout out to my wife, Donna Brazil. She said when a lot of people don't even give like that. A lot of people don't even give off the 10% like that. You know, So you got some faithful tithers, some faithful givers. You got some people that give money, and but a lot of people don't give like that. And then also in that Malachi 3, I don't know. That's why we go back and forth with this Old Testament, New Testament. When we don't want to do it, we justify it or we dismiss it as, oh, that's Old Testament. You know what I mean? But we sure go to Malachi 3 when we want to get that tithe. And I'm not against giving, and I know the lights got to stay on, and those churches and places that's teaching the real true word of the Most High. So, and bills need to be paid. And we're not talking about filthy lucre and gifted gab, slick talkers. We're talking about people that really love the Most High, really trying to handle business, and really trying to do the work that they've been called to do. And so there's a difference with that. But that Malachi 3, I remember that right here, Malachi 3 and 8. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have. Let's project that. Let's read it and project it real quick. Let's read it and project it real quick. My Blue Letter Bible. I love it. It's trusty Blue Letter Bible, Malachi 3 and 10. This scripture is always used in service. Let's check it out. Will a man rob God? Ye have robbed me. But when you say, where have ye robbed me? The donation tab came down. That's funny. When you rob thee in tithes and offerings, ye are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. And then it says in Malachi 3 and 10, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour ye out a blessing, there shall not be room enough to receive. And I will rebuke the devourer for your name's sake, and he shall not destroy your fruits of the ground, neither shall the vine be cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord God of hosts. And all this shall call you blessed. But that's basically what the tithe scripture that's been used. And I think I've seen Blastastic, and that was talking about they had to deal with agriculture and giving first fruits and giving different offerings like that. Then later on they changed it into money, but it does make you think about it after you read it, because you stand up with your word and you read this almost simultaneously in front of everybody. Will a man rob God? How can you say I rob God? But by keeping his tithes and offerings. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. Prove me and see what I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing you shall have not room enough to receive. And then I will rebuke the devourer for your name's sake. So if you had a rough patch and you didn't pay your tithe, just like you said, so I can attest to that. You have a rough patch, you paid you didn't pay your tithe, and then man, this bill take you out, or this unexpected car bill. Now you got to get a alternator on your car or something, and be like, man, I got a bag with a pocket full of holes. I got a bag with holes in it, and all my my offering is being leaked out because the devourer bit a hole in my bag. And I'm just telling you, man, it gets real wild like that. You know what I mean? And so I even heard some ministries. I said enemies. Wow. Some ministries say, hey, they're trying to come after the things of the Most High. They're trying to come after the sustaining the church. Like they had the defunding the police thing, and like defunding the ministry type thing. And he's trying to get people to convince and influence people not to give like that. I don't know what's going on with that. The awakening happens in so many strange different ways. You can hear it in people's voices. You can see what's going on. Some people can't put their finger on it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's being awakened, but that is amazing to know, because that thing is hanging over his head about how he raised money to get the jet and the Word of Faith ministry. It's just wild for him to come out and say that. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? I think that's very, very interesting. Very interesting to me. It's just very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. All right. Last thing I'm gonna go ahead and share today is about CERN. Now, July 5th, they were supposed to be trying to open up CERN. Now I got a video I did about 3 years ago about CERN. Shout out to also Pastor Stephen Darby, the late Stephen Darby. He did a video about CERN. And shout out to Teo Ministries. He did one about CERN, and he connected it to the Book of Enoch, and it was amazing. So shout out to him. You know, like he was saying, it's trying to be a jailbreak. You know, serpent seed trying to release these beings upon the earth, and we hear more and more talk about alien visitations, and you know, it's just real wild, you know. And so I want you guys to see, well, this guy right here, Marcus Rogers. You know, I really don't watch him a lot because he's, you know, he's back and forth a lot. You know, very strong, very opinionated man. But he has some information about CERN that I want you guys to check out. And also, I'm going to leave the link to my videos about CERN, as well as that Teo Ministry link about CERN as well. So check it out.
You know, scientists in Switzerland, okay?
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild teeth and gums overnight. Anybody struggling with...
And one of the first things from the very jump that I want to point out to you, if you haven't seen it before, if you look at the logo, it looks like 3 6s. All right, just, you know, take a look at that. So right from the jump, you know, I feel like symbolism is important. I feel a lot of people often, because they don't want to believe, you know, they will try to downplay. They would try to act like it's no big deal. You know, the same thing with the Apple computers. They sold their first computer for $666.66. When I looked that up, I just said, man, that's strange that people want to play with things like that. I don't feel like that's an accident. You know, people making a mockery or whatever. I believe it is demonic. So if you look at the logo, all right, it looks like 3 6s. Now, in the past, CERN, they do all these experiments, and to make a long story short, you know, they're you know, colliding these particles and you know, messing with all this energy, and they say they found this thing called the God particle, right? And they're trying to recreate the Big Bang, which is already the Antichrist spirit, right? Because you're trying to prove, like, this is how the world started, right? The Big Bang. This is where everything came from. This is how. So you're already going against God. And I've said this before. Science, when it goes against God, that's the Antichrist spirit. Now, there is some science that, in fact, is biblical and can be proven through the Bible. But when they take science and, you know, we're trying to use it to prove that, you know, God is not real, everything started from a Big Bang, that in itself is demonic, and it is the Antichrist spirit. So on July 5th, which is tomorrow, all right, they've got this thing, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, the Hadron Collider, all right? It's been down for about 3 years. They said they were doing repairs. They do proton collisions inside of it, right? Different experiments. And tomorrow they are going to do energy collision at 13.6 trillion electronic volts. All right, that's humongous, right? That's like, you know, a whole nother level. That's why people are talking about it so much, and they believe, you know, they're going to open up a some kind of black hole. That's what a lot of people are believing, because they're looking for this thing that they call you know, dark matter. All right. And so what is dark matter? According to NASA, dark matter is composed of particles that do not absorb, reflect, or emit light. It sounds demonic. So they cannot be detected. They can't be detected with the natural eye, right? Dark matter is material that cannot be seen directly. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So basically what they're saying is on July 5th, this huge event will take place where acceleration will occur that has never been done before, and it may possibly discover particles that we have never seen before or been able to identify, but definitely have been part of our world. Sounds like demons to me, all right? And I just think that's very interesting. Now, CERN, they put, you know, this statement on their website. It just sounds like a bunch of nothing. All right. We will measure the strengths of the Higgs-Boson interactions with matter and force particles to unprecedented precision, and we will further our searches for Higgs-Boson decays to dark matter particles, as well as searches for additional Higgs bosons. All right, let me say this real quick before I go too deep, because I know people got a short attention span. There are witches, all right, look at this particular video really quick, but there are witches that are excited about what they're doing. They say, oh, it's going to open this portal of this energy and we need to manifest, and they are excited about July 5th. This is one woman in particular.
Less than 48 hours from finding the secrets of the universe, from the big CERN turning on here on July 5th. What do you think the answers of the universe are going to be? Do you think this is going to change something in your life? Are you going to use this energy to manifest? Or are you going to live in fear? Let me know below. How do you manifest? Well, Luna, I'm glad that you asked. Manifestation is coming through your mind. I want you to think of like your favorite movie, your favorite scenario,
tomorrow,
and I want you to hold on to it.
On that
And
day,
that's
CERN, the
manifestation.
European Organization for Nuclear Research, will start their third run
It
of
definitely
its
will.
Large Hadron Collider. This machine has been on a 3-year pause for upgrades and maintenance. The collider was constructed in 2008 and was conducting many experiments. In 2012, it was able to discover a rare particle named the Higgs particle. Scientists were so excited about this discovery, they nicknamed the particle the God particle. For the July 5th run, the collider is expected to reach a new energy world record of 13.6 trillion electron volts. And some of its collisions, basically this acceleration will allow the collider to smash together billions upon billions of protons for the chance of producing the God particle, as well as other particles they believe were created in the early universe. Theories about what may happen as a result of this energy. The predominant claim is that the portal will open much like a black hole, and this will allow dark matter to enter our field. We already talked about dark matter, right? So we are warned to avoid low energy on July 5th. And so, people got all these theories. These witches have theories. A lot of people on the internet have theories, but pretty much listen to what they're saying, okay? You got the 666 in their logo. They're trying to prove that, in the early universe, there was some kind of big bang. So they're claiming they found this particle. This is the one. This is the God particle. And now we're going to increase the energy and we're going to try to recreate that particle once again. And this might not open up some kind of black hole where dark matter will come out of it. And the dark matter, according to NASA, all right, is particles that don't absorb, reflect, or emit light. Jesus is the light of the world, so they cannot be detected. Dark matter is material that cannot be seen directly. That's crazy. All right. We're trying to discover particles that we have never before been able to identify, but definitely have been part of our world. We know fallen angels, demons have already been moving the earth. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So, I would say this as a believer, don't get afraid. God is in control. These people out here.
So you can watch that Marcus Rogers video too. Sometimes he hit and miss, man, but I thought that video was pretty interesting. Shout out to Teo Ministries for real. But and I don't want, and I'm gonna leave the links to mine in there too as well. But I am going to share from in closing. I'm gonna share my stuff about CERN. One thing that's very, very interesting about that CERN is they got this on the outside of the CERN headquarters. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so it is Shiva, right? This is a statue that's been gifted, and it's on the outside of the CERN headquarters. You see this right here. This is like a portal. They come into it. Shiva is the Hindu goddess of destruction. So why would you gift somebody this statue on the outside of CERN headquarters? Again, I don't want to go through this stuff again. Watch the video. Watch my video. Watch Pastor Darby's video and watch Teo Ministries video. But this is on the outside of the CERN headquarters, right? And so, like Pastor Minister Teo was saying that it's supposed to be a jailbreak, you know what I mean? And so we gonna be praying. Of course, you're seeing this after July 5th, but a lot of people be doing a lot of things. They get us arguing and fighting and fussing and all this different stuff and who right, who wrong, and they got so much stuff going on in the world that we need to to focus in on so much stuff. And so, yeah, so check out the links. Check them out. Let me know what you got. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. Okay? Get those thumbs up. Share the video. Share the video. All right. Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown Man Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. I am out of here. Shalom.
Perfect.